Welcome everyone to a very special live broadcast. New in Chess have just published a really wonderful book. Hopefully you can all see it there. From Ukraine with Love for Chess. So this book has been put together really by the Ukrainian chess community, in particular Ruslan Ponomariov, who acted as a kind of general editor, and all proceeds from this book are going towards charities in Ukraine. So it is a very special book indeed. It's really worth celebrating and worth getting behind. And here we have, as our very special guests, we have the publishing director of New in Chess, Remmelt Otten, and the man himself, former world champion, two-time gold medalist for Ukraine in the Chess Olympics, Ruslan Ponomariov. So welcome to both of you. I've had this book for a little while now, and I think it's wonderful. There's some fantastic content. So, well, let's start with you, Ruslan. How did this project start?
Okay, hello everyone. Hello in the chat. Hi, thank you very much, Daniel, for having this show. Thank you very much once again for all this support. Well, I a little bit tried a little bit to explain if you read in preface of the book. Also, Remmelt wrote some preface. Well, to be honest, I don't know. In some moments, there is, let's say, was kind of like always news talking about like some war will start because Russia accumulated more and more troops on the border. But to be honest, like I couldn't like believe it that this really what happened, despite that we had all this previous conflict in Crimea, in Donbass, and then suddenly my parents, sometimes I was talking with with sister, do you want to come to Spain? But they said, no, what's like a problem? It's just propaganda, this news. They were like staying in Kiev, in home. Maybe we were planning to see each other on Easter, and 24th of February, what's happened. To be honest, like, for me, it was total shock. Like how it's happened in 21st of century, such situation. And I couldn't like really, I don't know, first week, like even like to do something. Like my wife was noticing something that not something good with me. Well, she's Basque. She's not maybe feeling the same. Like I'm Ukrainian, but I very appreciate her too much that she gave me some time maybe to think. Like I know these days she took care more about kids, about home, about other stuff. I feel maybe I'm almost like I had some kind of depression at that moment, with feeling like, so what to do? Like I don't know. I'm not professional military, but I know in the same moment I feel like a little bit guilty psychologically, like people like fighting, people like dying, people like many volunteering. For example, Igor Kovalenko, he's like was first like helping for people. Now he's even like joined military forces. And since before we had very good like relationship with New in Chess publishing house. With I was usually in contact with Peter Boyle, with Remmelt when we prepared some yearbooks, some service was contributed. Sometimes they even me ask it, but maybe when Ruslan you will write some books, we are waiting for you. But I was kind of, let's say, I don't know, like if it's like really like a topic I have, or do I have really enough time? Because one thing it's like to write a survey, another thing like to write a book, and this like huge project. Do I really could say something like news that people know? And this is like came like a little bit like surprise opportunity. Like, do you want like to participate? Let's maybe do something. What kind of ideas you have? And I, to be honest, like I feel like I needed to do something, and I didn't like think like if how long it will take, how much effort will take. Just want like to start and see where it's going. And to be honest, like you like mentioned to be like I was like I don't know editor or contribution, not at all. I mean I had some, let's say, some active role, but this is actually book, I would say, maybe like a little bit, I don't know, don't want like to
a collaboration
dramatize something, but let's say the war that happened now in Ukraine, it's not just war of one person or one country. It's like I feel like this kind of situation tried united all of us Ukrainians, and we also feel lots of support all around world. I don't know. In some moments, I feel it's like very terrible, but in the same moments, even in such terrible situation, you can find some kind of positive. And I tried to contact as many like Ukrainian chess players as possible. Like new chess really helped a lot, because I even didn't have like experience like how to do this.
Okay, so first of all, New in Chess approached you with the idea first of all, and
later I read maybe Remmelt also at Thompson. I was reading his preface. He actually wrote that Steve Higgins, whom I know also a little bit, I was talking with him sometimes on Twitter. He's a translator from English to Russian sometimes. Before we discuss some chess history, some stuff.
Ruslan,
it actually was his, let's say, somehow his idea.
So Steve Giddens, from England.
Yes,
so let me bring in Remmelt. So Remmelt Otten, publishing director from New in Chess. Remmelt, let's hear your side of the story. How did this come about? What was your role and New in Chess's role exactly?
Yeah. I think the whole chess world was anticipating to be in Moscow this summer, or at least thousands of chess players for the Olympiad, and then the war happened. So that changed everything. And at first you feel helpless, and then fortunately we are a small company, but we have dozens of contributors, and one of them is Steve Giddens, who is a translator and an editor. And he suggested in an email, if there's anything I can do, if I can do free translation from Russia to English to help the Ukrainian chess community, please let me know. And that started us thinking. So I discussed it with Peter Bull, who is who's editing most of our books. He's the responsible for the book division, and we thought of just an anthology of the best that Ukrainian chess can offer, and so we just a simple idea to ask Ukrainian players to contribute one game, but we reached out to Ponomariov first, because if we would do it ourselves, people would probably prioritize other things, because there was so much going on in their lives when you're from Ukraine in the first few weeks. But Ponomariov helped us to reach to all his fellow elite grandmasters. Some of the players we already knew, they published books with us, like Tukmakov or Moskalenko, but Ponomariov really helped us to bring in a huge amount of Ukrainian grandmasters, and they because he asked them, they really brought some effort to their things, and so we have a collection of game notes from a lot of people, and still there's of course there's people missing as well, because it was a rush job. We wanted to get it to the market as quickly as possible to raise money for the charities.
Yeah.
So it started with Steve Giddens, and then Bono really played a great role. And the nice thing is that everybody we asked for help, they were extremely responsive. So our printer did it for a huge discount. Our designers helped for free. Our own people worked on the book in the weekends and things like that. So it was a team effort.
Okay, that sounds fantastic. By the way, for everyone tuning in, I can see some people in the chat already. There's a position on the board, and this is taken from a really nice chapter that was actually written by Jan Timman, where he discusses Ukrainian chess study composers. And this was composed by Lazar Zalkind in 1930. This is a very, very simple one to start with. So it's white to play and mate in two. So let's, I can already see we've got a solution in the chat already, correct solution. This is a really easy one to start with, but anyway, yeah, well done. Mate in two. Excellent. They'll get more difficult, but I have to say that is a chapter in the book which I think is really nicely written by Jan Timman. So Ruslan, you reached out to your Ukrainian colleagues and got them to annotate games. So I mean, is there any one contributor that you're particularly proud of getting to write in the book?
Well, once again, idea also was like it's a book not about me, not about someone else, and I would really wanted like that everyone would be represented to show that Ukraine is really a huge chess community. For sure, for example, I don't know, let's say Vasyl Ivanchuk is a genius and he could publish a book of his own games, maybe select hundreds and hundreds. But really the idea was like to show modern chess, like, let's say classic chess, females, males, young generation, like, and also that people don't only think like, sometimes maybe people don't know so much about Ukraine. Sometimes like people think about like chess schools. They think maybe about Soviet Union. I also kind of feel sometimes this war. It's also about like I kind of feel very like frustrated when hearing like from Russian propaganda like Ukraine culture or Ukraine like not like exist or something. Like they always try to bring it back to some, I don't know, Soviet Union. Well, it's true, of course, we had many, let's say, years together, not only Ukraine, like many like countries, former Soviet republics, including many countries that now are part of European Union, let's say Latvia, Estonia, etc. But for example, I'm not feeling like even despite I was born in 1983 when it still was Soviet Union, I was like still like feeling that I developed myself like a chess player in Kramatorsk, in city, in Donetsk region, and I really feel myself like
you feel a Ukrainian identity.
Yeah, and unfortunately, even in this book, like some players, let's say like Savon or Gennady Kuzmin, whom I know personally, who taught me, they already unfortunately passed away, but I thought it's also important to mention. As Remmelt told before, yeah, the thing is, one of the problem, of course, was that we kind of, it's not like time when you want like to prepare a book as best as possible. When you have like time, we want like to bring it as quickly as possible on the market. Well, one of the reasons like charity, I know that there is like people helping, donating. I really would like to thank everyone, like people do some like streams, charities, but I also feel like, I don't know, I'm not like person who is going, I don't like to go and ask, please can you help me, please can you give me some money. So I thought at least to give some kind of for people, some kind of interesting product, it would be also good thing. I don't know. This is my personal feeling.
Definitely.
And
And listen,
and
I have the book, and I have to say, I really recommend it to people. You can see the link there to buy it directly from New in Chess, and there is superb content. While we're at it, let's just get rid of this position. Okay, I can see someone in the chat saying, just ordered. Excellent. Let's sort out this.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, great. So that's great. So mating 2, yeah, this is a very simple one to start with. Queen G7. It's a nice creeping move, and however black plays, it is going to be checkmate. So for example, here we have Queen G4, and let me see, knight takes, bishop G4 is probably checkmate, and so on. Well, you can work it out yourself. So it's a very nice move, Queen G7. I'm actually going to put another position on the board. You mentioned Savon, and there is a really nice game in the book where he defeated Lev Pologaevsky, and I really like this one. So here's the next question for everyone, which is white to play. What did Savon play in this position? This is more complicated, but it's very, very nice, and it shows, well, this whole game is really interesting. This is just a conclusion, but Savon, tactically very, very gifted, very creative player. So white to play. So let's hear your solutions in the chat. So coming back to Remmelt, tell me, more about the production of the book. You say, that it's a real team effort, and what about the charities? I mean, what's the story there?
Yeah, just about the team effort. Steve Guinness, the idea originated with him, and he followed up on it as well. I wanted to mention because Ruslan gave his compatriots the choice to write either in English or in their own language, which sometimes is Russian, sometimes Ukrainian, and Steve translated that into English, so that really helped us as well. People wrote biographies and things like that, and we so usually we take 3 months to produce a book because we do check and double check and everything, and there's a lot of people involved. But now we did it in 4 weeks, so that was really nice to do. The charities, yeah, we've decided to work with 2 charities, and one was chosen by Ruslan himself, which is a charity based in Kiev. And they are called Come Back Alive, and they're helping people on the front with protection. So with technology and things like that, just to protect them. And the other charity we choose was suggested by Natalia Zhukova, also a member of the Ukrainian Olympiad team, and she is currently a council member in Odessa. A city in Ukraine very close to the front as well. And she's working very hard to help her city during these difficult times. And she suggested a local charity in Odessa, which is doing things, which is also helping people in need during these times. So, and we decided to donate already €5,000 to each of these 2 charities. And as we progress, we will donate more. We pledge that everything that we earn from this book project will go to those 2 charities.
Fantastic. So already 10,000 in total.
Yeah,
5,000 to each. Fantastic.
Yeah. There has
Very
been
nice.
we have sold 1,500 copies of the print book and a few hundred of the digital edition as well. There is a digital edition. The print is €20 and the digital is €15.
Fantastic. That's absolutely brilliant. And just to say, the link is there in the chat. Do check it out. I can see some suggestions here in the chat. Rook F1, G4, G4. No. Okay, I'm going to show this one very quickly. Rook B3. The rook is swinging up the board. I'm just going to go through the next few moves. Okay, what happens on knight C5? There's a check. And there's a nasty check on F3. Forking king and rook. So let me just go back here. So the game went like this. Check here. And now the king came up. And now life is getting very difficult for the king. So here. Okay, I'm going to leave it. What's white's next move? Hopefully we'll get some answers in the chat. White to play there. So Ruslan, you were talking about, I mean, I find this very interesting that, you say, about your Ukrainian identity. And of course, this is sort of mentioned in the book and about Ukraine's achievements. For example, in the Olympiad, you've, as I mentioned at the start, you've won the gold medal twice for Ukraine in the chess Olympiad. I mean, that's an unbelievable achievement. This is fantastic. I mean, what's the spirit in the team? It must be great, the spirit in the Ukrainian team.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is one of the secret because, when we played, we kind of strong players, but still, there is many strong teams, and we are not like the team, the most high-rated players. Always probably Russia was, nowadays United States, even China. But yeah, I don't know. We kind of all were supportive to each other. Well, if you read the book, there is more like games also. Vladimir Tukmakov talking from his perspective as well. I mean, of course. I know I'm a little bit modest about all this kind of
you shouldn't be modest. How many people can say they've won 2 gold medals?
I still hope we will have more and more achievements. Actually, even without me, it was European Championship when Ukrainian national team. We never won before European team championship in Slovenia. Last one, it was one. They played without Ilyanov, without me, without Ivanchuk, like old generation, like new generation, like Kirill Shevchenko is coming. And I mean, I hope we still return back to normal life, to the life will continue. I'm sure that every war is finished. I hope Ukraine will win this war. We will continue
by the way,
this life. And about, I don't know, book probably when I was like, my idea also was not only, of course, like focusing on achievements always like motivates. I just remembered a little bit my childhood when I was, let's say, 7 years old, like how I just started to chess myself, because at that moment no existed like internet. And I just my father had some chess books. And I remember it was very like inspiring for me to read these books, just like best games of different chess players, like let's say world chess champions, like candidates annotated. And this is like, I always like this idea, and I wanted like, I when I asked my friends, could you suggest what you think was your best move, maybe that will also inspire? And for example, this game that you just showed, Savon versus Pologaevsky. Before, I think Alexander Moisenko wrote a book. It's only in Russian so far. Maybe Steve Higgins in some moment will translate it in English. Alexander Moisenko wrote about his coach, because as I told, like we are all learning from previous generation, and I hope new generation will also learn something from me. And I kind of remember I was discussing what kind of you think game is interesting. Like Savon is known, he was champion of Soviet Union, which is like huge achievement, but somehow we decide like this game like really beautiful. Pologaevsky also strong player. It's not like so easy like you beat and this kind of motifs attack without queens, some Sicilian favorite opening.
Well, let's.
It's kind of and this kind of, I hope like people, if they buy a book, not only like thinking about like charity, but I hope that also people will have some and enjoy, because okay, it's not only about war, but also to still continue to live, to have some
Ruslan,
good moments as well.
Let's finish this game because it is very interesting. We've got lots of suggestions here, but the game finished like this. The king came up, and this is the key idea. It's very beautiful. I love the way the knight controls these squares, so the king can no longer retreat. It's very, very nice. Let's just go to the
end. But this is not over yet.
No.
Like still has, yeah.
Not over. Of course, playing the rook here is very important to stop knight e4 check. This is one of the points of this move. Let's go. So if knight d7, then we have this. And okay, that's a nice checkmate. And in the game, this happened. And here, and rook e5. Okay, it's a beautiful checkmating finish. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's a real game, but looks like we had a study before.
Exactly.
Like.
Okay, sorry.
I suggest, you guys. I don't know. Sometimes I also, if you want to train, maybe take a book to cover some pages. You can guess the moves. I guess if you have digital version, maybe there is other options. I don't know. I have printed version as well. Myself. Personally, I like more printed version in aspect like I may be old-fashioned to this feeling of paper. I know, to make some notes.
Well, it's funny because I have the digital version and I have the print version as well, but I like the digital version because when I'm on the train, I can just have my phone.
Well, this is
also really nice. It's very, very easy. It's very nice. But yeah,
it's all up to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. But sorry, we had a question there in the chat. Okay, you mentioned Savon, but who was your biggest influence when you were growing up, when you were learning chess? Well,
I would say that we had a chess club in Kramatorsk city. This Kramatorsk city is just industrial city, lots of factories where they produce industry machines, etc.
Yeah.
And actually, in that moment, maybe no like grandmasters at all. In Luhansk region, there was first grandmaster Gennady Kuzmin. But in Donetsk region, which is like called together like Donbass, there is well like no like grandmaster. But somehow this chess club thanks to was created, and I would say for me my kind of like development influence was the possibility with to train with many like coaches like Savon, Kuzmin coming, but there is also like lots of kids like Kuzubov, Yefimenko, Ushenina who is coming. Well, there is other, of course, I should mention part of the story. For example, Karyakin or Katerina Lagno. They actually also were Ukrainians, and they also were like, we are training together and we learned together. And I really feel, I don't know, super like bad now, like I don't know, I still couldn't believe all these kind of expressions like Sergei Karyakin does publicly. Even like Katerina Lagno, I know that for some personal reasons she moved to change federation. I mean, it's the life is happened, but this kind of so militaristic rhetoric really makes me, I don't know, very feel like bad. I would be really happy that in this moment also like games of Sergei Karyakin would be mentioned. He's really a good chess player, but now I'm not feeling like anymore that he's like part of Ukrainian chess
yeah, it's very sad.
community. Actually, you, I think if some people who will buy, they will actually will find one game played by Karyak in this game. In this book, he beat Pavel Ilyanov. There was one story about chess Olympiad that happened in Khanty-Mansiysk. We had very crucial match. He actually helped a lot by beating Pavel Ilyanov, but Zakhar Yefimenko beat Vladimir Malakhov. This game also annotated by Zakhar in this book. And match was tied 2-2, and in the end we were first on this Olympiad one. So about like to say influence, I would once again I would not like I really appreciate all people whom I met in my life who helped me. I don't feel like to make this kind of progress. It like someone will compare, let's say Bobby Fischer. He like doing lots of progress himself, like, but I even feel like even him, he was not alone is his progress. Maybe he makes himself like alone, but I think the best results you can achieve like team working and
Okay, you
and,
feel
and this is
you were part of a community, basically.
yeah, this is like book. I also feel kind of happy, like this is like teamwork. And once again, I hope we can maybe now we are talking in the chat with people, hope to see some chess fans in some moment. If someone would ask for autograph or sign the copy of book, we will be ready to do this.
Okay,
at any moment. I don't know. I guess other contributors will do the same as well.
Excellent. Listen, Remmelt, is there a chapter that you particularly like that somehow sparks your interest, that, you know, when you were helping to put the book together from the New in Chess side? Is there one chapter you really like?
Well, yes, what's so nice to being part of New in Chess as with the heritage of more than 40 years of publishing. I joined 10 years ago, but there were 30 years before that, and before that there were even a lot of years with publishing only in Dutch. So when we wanted to have the breadth of Ukrainian chess, we could fall back on the magazine, and that's really nice because there were so many good stories. So Dirk Jan ten Geusdam, the editor-in-chief, helped us choose some stories, and that's the position that you have on the screen now. It is that's one of the things that was originally published in the magazine. So a few people might have read it already, but that was Romanishin telling about his secret training matches with Tal. That was really because I hadn't read it at that time, so it was a nice suggestion by Dirk Jan, and I really liked it.
Yeah, I think I found that chapter very interesting, and actually I'd forgotten the article in New in Chess. I mean, I'm a subscriber to New in Chess, but I'd completely forgotten about it. And you know, the discussion of a secret training match between Romanishin and Tal is, of course, two incredibly creative players. I mean, I found these games really interesting. So I just want to show this particular end game. So we can see that Tal has advanced this pawn here. So it's just one step from queening. And he took on f2. And at this moment, Tal thought he was winning with this very standard mechanism. After king takes, then, well, we all know this from rook and pawn endgames, and Tal thought he was winning. So here's a question for the chat. It looks like black is winning after this move, but Oleg Romanishin had found a very nice defense, a really unusual defense. Very nice. So how did White save the game from this moment? When you know there's a defense, I'm sure you guys will find it very quickly, but still, it's a defense I'd never seen this before. So it's really nice. While they're thinking about that, Ruslan, a question for you. Somebody asked on my channel a question for you. Do you think there's a particular Ukrainian style, or is it impossible to say, or is it just a very diverse styles in Ukraine, or do you think there is a Ukrainian chess style?
Well, nowadays I think the chess world became more and more globalized. Everyone has lots of access to lots of chess content, chess information, and it's really hard to choose. But I think, I don't know, when I remember what I was like learning, maybe I would say the situation, Ukraine is still like young country, and this kind of is, I remember my childhood, all these changes were kind of hard, not only chess aspect but also economically, etc. Like my parents and someone lost all their like savings and like needed like to start from the stage, but this is like since happened, and this is maybe affected, like sometimes we don't have so much like resources, but chess is such a beautiful game. Like you have chessboard 8x8, like you sit and no one will decide for you what's like what to do like the best. You still like need to play the best moves, and I don't know, of course I tried to learn so much, even like from Romanishin. I played first, I remember when I played in 1998 in chess Olympiad. I think it was in a list. I was still like young. They took me for the first time. Vasyl Ivanchuk. I saw like, oh my god, like they have so many like variety of ideas, so like deep thinking, and this is like influenced to me. Maybe personally, what I feel like I brought, like my childhood was not the most easiest one to achieve results, needed to give like lots of sacrifice, and we like over the board, like I tried like to defend each position like until the end hard, like people were telling like, but why he don't like resign or anything. So maybe it could be like a speciality of Ukrainian chess.
Yeah.
Well,
to
nowadays
fight.
to fight, yeah, man. Ukraine is like fighting anyway. Maybe we looks like like I don't know, even like people can say like, why you are like so political, but even like compare this like situation, like 24th of February, Russia invaded like Ukraine, like I don't know, like everyone probably thought like the so strong like army, like Ukraine should like surrender everything, but I don't know, time is coming and Ukrainians is like fighting, and this is like, maybe I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit dramatized, but in chess I just hope we will fight more on chessboard, this kind of like fights to have in real life.
Sure. Let's just finish this one, because
and I don't know, I hope like people who buy the book, of course it's possible to add more and more material. I just hope it's just like a first step. People will become interested. Say, oh, like someone, oh, I don't know, who is this Alexeyenko, let's say, or who is this guy, who is Yuri Krivoruchka, or I don't know, for example, or other chess guys, or who is like Kirill Shevchenko. And I hope this people can different levels, like from amateurs even to professionals, can learn a little bit different some good things. Will keep this interest for chess, and
Well, I think
we will continue.
That's the amazing thing about this book, is that okay, there are Ukrainian stars such as yourself and Ivanchuk and talk about
Muzychuk's sister. I know we are
sisters,
talking about
Anna
men, but
Shenina, yeah. I mean, but actually there is real depth in Ukrainian chess, and that really comes through in the book. I've been a fan of Oleg Romanishin's for since the 1970s, and he's such a creative player. Well, he found this move, Bishop D1. It's such a nice move actually, and this just draws the game. So basically, Black has to take here, and then Rook takes, and okay, we have a drawn position. But yeah, Bishop D1 it's a really nice move. It's the only, of course, we should explain that the usual mechanism. This loses and the rook gets taken, but Bishop D1 is a really, really nice saving move in this position.
Yeah, it's kind of maybe easy to spot when position arrive, but imagine you play versus Tal. Okay, he's not world chess champion at that moment, but he's still in 1976 top chess player, maybe top 5, top 10 for sure.
Absolutely.
And everyone knows, like, for his creative attacking style, you under pressure, even if it's like training match, still you want to fight, and it's nice.
Well,
nicely played.
There's another position I wanted to show, and this is from again a game from this secret training match. So a standard English, and I want to ask everyone in the chat how they would play in this position. So Black has just played the Queen to D7, lining up. Okay, Remmelt, I'm going to put you on the spot. Remmelt.
I'm not. Oh no.
Remmelt, come on.
Okay, yes, please. Go ahead.
So,
I'm just a regular club player, but I'll give it a try.
So Black has just played the Queen to D7. So Tal has just played Queen D7. So how did Romanishin play from this position? You see, I think this is a very interesting position, and it shows Romanishin's style very well.
Yeah, well, in Blitz, every club player would immediately play King H2, of course, to just cover the pawn. But
okay, well let's.
But that can't be the answer.
Well, yeah, there is a little drawback with.
Oh, yeah.
Because after this and now, what does Black play? This is the problem.
Bishop G4.
In fact, well, Bishop G4 can be taken, but Knight G4 is a very nice move. Yeah, it's a nice move because, of course, that's a problem. Oh well, okay. White still has this move, but it's not a success.
Okay.
And if the king comes back, then of course you can take here and take here. So yeah, in fact, the move King H2 isn't very good. So I think because of this tactical issue, Romanishin was forced to be creative, and he found a very interesting idea to gain the initiative. So I'm asking everyone in the chat. I'm asking you, Remmelt, as well. Given that King H2, the simple King H2 doesn't work, what else could you come up with? And I think it's very typical of Romanishin's style, this actually. Ruslan, do you remember this game, or have you seen this game?
Not really. I'm also, because it's secret match, it was not published in some books before.
Yeah.
I mean, I also played some secret matches sometimes. In Kramatorsk, we played lots of secret blitz games, secret matches. Like, of course, not when I prepared for match versus Kasparov, I played in Crimea some secret matches. Maybe Nigel Short, I think, once mentioned one game.
Yeah.
Even on Chess Base was some article. So yeah, I remember I saw in Unchess some articles, but yeah, I think it's even like looks like old, but still it's even like before some ideas we jump kind of quickly, like the plan that how he changes like structure played before e3 e4 like calmly like 11 square for d4, but maybe fighting. It's also interesting decision.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
was before, but yeah, here it's like more, I guess, forced line where I guess only
Well, okay.
one choice which is probably good, otherwise white don't have initiative.
I think this is really interesting. He just gave up the h pawn. Just gave it for free, and
well, bishop a7 is kind of out of play, I guess. And I don't know, for Tal, also one thing to sacrifice, and here like, okay, Romanishin, Oleg Mikhailovich says, I will sacrifice to you, no?
Yeah. So he just did this, and
probably black should be fine, but I think it's also psychological effect could be.
Okay,
like such play.
Well,
I think it's easier to play with white because they have kind of easier plan.
He continued on the king side.
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah, in fact, Tal could have defended better, but in fact,
well, of course, I mean, people nowadays, everyone can turn on Stockfish, or I don't know, or Fritz and kind of see. But once again, I always like telling people one thing is like what computer says, another thing like real game, this kind of moments, decisions.
But here, okay, now it's clear. Well,
here
the game has turned. Yeah, okay, Tal made a mistake, but I think it's very interesting how, no one likes to lose the initiative, and least of all probably Tal. And he actually, went wrong very, very quickly. But I think, for me, this moment stood out as, just a very interesting moment that he's just not afraid to give a pawn.
I would also suggest for people who want to improve, once again, take all annotations like critically, read. Nice if you have some kind of feedbacks, you think, oh no, you wrote this line, send it like by email. I found this line and this is better. This is also like way of improving. Like even like reading some old books, you always can find some new ideas, new improvements, and this is one nice of also training. And I hope this kind of book would be interesting not only like during short period, but even like later. Like sometimes people asking, so how I would can improve middle games, or how to learn some typical ideas. And this is like sometimes I suggest this kind of like books annotated by good players, by strong players, explaining their ideas, helps you understand the way how players like thinking, and then you add something more to your own like thinking. And probably this is how I made progress myself as well.
Okay, so here's the next position, and now you mentioned Gennady Kuzmin, and he has white in this game against Furman. So it is white to play, and how did Kuzmin generate a winning attack in this position? Remmelt, I'm going to ask you again. So now's your time to shine. Remmelt, what do you think? White play, give me your first thoughts. And I'm also going to ask in the chat as well. White play. Give me your thoughts, Remmelt.
Just now, what I would play with white.
Yeah.
White's move. Well, there's no immediate win, I think. So
true.
I would just probably develop my other rook, bring it to an open line. So the D line, rook A, D1.
Nice. Good. Okay. Fantastic. So now this is an issue. Okay, so knight b6 played. Okay, and now here we go. We're closing in for the kill. What next? It was good to distract this knight from the king side. Somebody
Are you waiting for the chat, or you want me to
well, let's
say
wait
something?
let's wait for the chat. Let's wait for the chat.
Okay.
Why not? And just a reminder, everyone, that the book we have here from Ukraine with Love for Chess. There we go. We've got a copy here. You can buy it directly from New in Chess. There we go. We can see that, and proceeds of the book will go to charities in Ukraine. And it's an absolutely wonderful book. There are some great collection of games, puzzles, fantastic articles actually. And looking back,
can I just add
Remmelt.
that now, of course, you can buy it in our web shop, but we also supply all the other chess specialists everywhere in Europe and in the United States, all the people who devote their life to a chess shop. So you can buy it at your local chess specialist as well. I just wanted to mention that.
Oh yeah, so it's already available in the United States. Yeah.
It also is available in the United States. Yes, we've published it in the US as well. We printed it over there. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! So it's already available in the US. Okay,
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Excellent. That's really good to know. So yeah, you can express your solidarity with Ukraine by buying the book, and also get some great content as well. And as Ruslan says, there's some great training material here. So here is a good start. So here we go. We've got some suggestions. Yeah, a few have spotted. Well done, Alwyn Teron and Forest Knight and EMTB have suggested this move, Rook F6. Excellent move. So
wow.
Obviously, if that's taken, then that's checkmate. So in the game.
Well, I guess it's also typical idea. Maybe someone remember. Maybe Fischer also played something similar, like Rook F6, maybe
Fischer
versus
Benko,
Fischer Benko. Probably it's possible to find similar ideas.
Absolutely.
But still, I mean, accumulating this kind of like small ideas, middle games ideas, I know, helps you like recognize this kind of like patterns.
Definitely.
And I mean, still like each position slightly like different, like knowing idea. You need like to proceed, like to check like more like concretely. And yeah, about Gennady Pavlovich Kuzmin, I would say he had like also lots of influence on me, not only like a chess player, but I remember him like a very like positive person, despite that any troubles that he had. I remember, I don't know, because he was, I think because he was from Ukraine, he was from some small city from Luhansk. Somehow, I don't know, he didn't have so much like, let's say, connections with bureaucrats. And he just played chess. And he had like one story, maybe, I don't know if someone's remember, when he was actually qualified to play in that moment, instead of candidates, there was some interzonal tournaments, and he should like go to play. But Soviet Union was such a like totalitarian country. Like in some moment, he was planning to go, but instead of him, Vasily Smyslov went there, and Kuzmin. It was for him like such a moment in your career. Imagine you like qualified, and then you don't go. Yeah. I don't know. I feel it's for him. It was really a kind of shock. He didn't really mention it too much, but even despite all of this, I remember with us, with kids, he was always like positive, and he always like it, like this kind of atmosphere. He lived with chess, and this is I really have
interesting,
very good moments about him. And I don't know, I think I also learned from him like in some moment like how to play not only like opens like Rui Lopez, but also somehow I don't know, some moments like I remember I was like so stressed, like don't know what to do, need to play let's say Morozevich on tiebreak, and he said, "Oh, don't worry, just do this," and then I go.
That's nice. I remember he was also at some point he was a trainer for Maya Chibudnitsa, I think.
Yeah, he was. He, of course, since he couldn't like realize himself fully like a professional chess player, he was limited to go abroad from Soviet Union. He was a coach, very successful.
Yeah, because I played
Maya Chibudnitsa. There is one chess player from Ukraine, from Kiev, Lydia Semyonova. Well, she's not included in the book, but if someone who interested in history, there was like generation. Marta Litinskaya from Lvov, Lydia Semyonova, who actually played some candidates matches where it was close. Of course, everyone knows about Maya Chibudnitsa, Nona Gaprindashvili, but they also were kind of close, played in candidates, and Gennady Kuzmin.
Yeah, I played against.
He was working.
I played against Kuzmin once.
I remember Gennady. I remember Gennady Pavlovich. The one thing always like frustrated him, like when people confused him with Alexei Kuzmin. I mean, there is like, I don't want to say anything bad like about Alexei Kuzmin. He's also like wrote many like interesting like articles. He also coach of Morozevich, but I don't know. It's always like Gennady Kuzmin. He said, but this is like from Moscow. No. This is not the Kuzmin.
Okay.
So please don't make mistake. I'm not Alexei Kuzmin. I'm Gennady Kuzmin. This was, I don't know, my moments. Don't want like to say
Ruslan, let me just pick up on what people are saying in the chat. So Jean Gartner says, what was the point of the knight move from black? Well, I think the problem is that, this knight is offside. In fact, I think black is already lost in this position. But let's just carry through to the finish. So knight here, queen h4, rook here, and rook d3.
Well, this is nice, I think, attack in aspect that doesn't look very like forced, but white has some kind of domination, and this is like good principle of attack. Even without sacrificing immediately, you create advantage on one part of the board. Okay, white have some, I can see double pawns, like looks like positionally the battle is lost, like you would say, black is better. But no, Kuzmin was very like dynamic players. Well, of course he has his own weaknesses. I'm not always agree with his ideas, but it was always like interesting. His positive mood, his kind of creativity. Later, I would say for him, why with some moment we stopped to work, and maybe still was like influence of computers, and for him was this kind of like changes what to check computer why, but nowadays probably you can do this, but still I remember.
Okay,
with much warm.
Let's finish this game, because this is so here, and the final move, rook h6. So mate threatened, and if pawn takes, then
well, probably king g7, but king g7 probably doesn't change much still. Like
king
maybe queen e7 check,
queen e7,
possible.
yeah.
Knight f7 not possible, queen c5, then we bring rook, everything with a check. Yeah, black looks like has pieces, but they are not participated. And white with such simple play like rook f6.
Rook f6, yeah, it's a very nice style.
Now I remember also Alexander Ryshuk. I played against him in Vaikanze. Yeah. It was Sicilian, and he played something to me like bishop f6, and I also couldn't like coordinate my pieces. And this I remember very well. This is like rook f6, another reminder. But both kings are castle at the same side, but yeah, still strong.
Remmelt, you wanted to come in.
Yeah, but do you know which game came first? Fischer Benko or this one?
Wait a second. Let me see. This is 1960.
Check that, or maybe the chat can answer that. The wisdom of the crowd.
No, Fischer Benko came first. Fischer Benko was 1963, the US Championship. Yeah.
But still, I mean, even at that moment, I remember there was stories, candidates tournaments like Korchnoi played Polugaevsky. He bought newspaper, read what was played in another candidates, but Pologaevsky didn't read, and he chose some move and beat Pologaevsky. It was another like situation. Information was not divided.
Okay, but 3
maybe
years is
because he
enough.
knew about this game, but who knows? Maybe not just
maybe not.
1966. Maybe he didn't know. It wasn't like this, like we are talking now, especially Soviet player from US chess player. I don't know exactly when Fischer published his book, My Memorable Game. It was maybe after
1970, yeah.
when he already became. Because personally, I already remember this game Fischer Benko already from the book, not like I opened database. I mean, ChessBase not existed at the moment.
Exactly. Yeah.
How you can have the books, the moves, etc.
Okay, listen, I think, Robert Gavrich said it was 1964. Yeah, I think the US Championship ran over New Year, 63, 64. Anyway, we can sort that out later. I think we're going to wrap things up, but just a reminder about this fantastic book From Ukraine with Love for Chess. There we are. And available from New in Chess. You can get it directly. And as Remmelt says, you can also get it from your local chess stockist as well. So listen, thank you, Ruslan, for joining us and for being one of the team that put this fabulous book together. And I can say, I've been reading it over the last couple of weeks, and I can warmly recommend this book. There's some absolutely superb material in it. And Remmelt, thanks for joining us. And what else is happening with New in Chess? Go on, give us a story about what else is coming up
one more thing is that's something that I really like. It's called a book that we're going to publish in a few weeks from now. It's called The Most Exciting Chess Games You've Ever Seen. And that was edited by Steve Giddens, the guy who we can credit as starting this book. It is from the Just Checking column in New in Chess magazine. In every issue we have a questionnaire, and all those experts are asked what was the most exciting chess game you've ever seen, and we have an anthology of those games. And I mean, you showed the Savon game. Can we go back to the Savon game?
Yeah, of course.
And then to the one of the early stage. Yep. Because that was you skipped it with a reason.
I skipped because there's a remarkable part. Yeah.
But can you show just one move? This move.
Yeah.
Queen sacrifice on f6. Well, so I'm really looking forward to bring this book to the general public, because there are so many. There are 45 of games with quality like this Savon Pologaevsky game. It's really wonderful. It shows the richness of chess. So that's nice. And yeah, we have had a very strong list of new books. Very happy to be able to publish them. One of them is yours, of course, the Kalashnikov.
We can discuss that on another time, but yes.
Another, yeah.
Excellent.
And I'm still hoping that Ruslan will find the time to do a best games book, because everybody experienced how when he starts talking about the position, he can explain what's happening so much better than most of us. Yep.
Yeah. Ruslan, there you are. There's
I would say about
your next task.
My plans. In August I'm going to be in Netherlands for
Zeeland.
one chess tournaments in Vlissingen, and. If someone wants to come, probably we will meet with Remmelt, since it's so close. So now we are talking on YouTube, but everyone welcome who wants to come. On 5th, actually, we planned to do some kind of conference. I would be happy to answer questions more in person, maybe if someone wants to sign a book. Make extra some promotion.
So where in the Netherlands?
I think I would be 5th of August.
It's in Vlissingen in Zeeland. There's a summer tournament every day. I think it's maybe we can add it to the YouTube notes.
I don't know if someone decides to have some holidays. It's also it could be nice combination.
Excellent, and I'm sure you'd be very happy to sign any copies of the book as well. So that's absolutely brilliant. So. once again, I warmly recommend this book. And Remmelt and Ruslan, thank you very much for coming onto the chat. And yeah, very best of luck to everyone. And yeah, thanks everyone for tuning as well.
Yeah,
See
thank
you
you
later.
very much for giving us the opportunity.
Not at all. See you later.
Yeah.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.